Hello, everyone, and welcome to my weekly market review. I'm your host, Paul. In this video, I'm going to look at the S&P, the Nasdaq, Nvidia, Google, and Bitcoin. So let's get started. All right, going to start with the S&P. This is the futures contract, the ES for the S&P. And if you've been following me for the last few weeks, I've been looking at this whole thing since October as an expanding flat. And I wanted to see 5 ways down, and they did finally complete that on Monday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then A, B, and then they came down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on Monday to complete the C wave of that fifth wave. So this to me looks absolutely perfect for an expanding flat, and it's in the perfect zone for a fourth wave. And from that low, then you got what you want to see. That if this is over, then people should be buying, and you get a huge explosion, corrected right down to the 50, and then another bounce up. So as it stands right now, this is looking really good, because then that'd be a 1 and then a 2, and then should be working their way up to complete the third wave, give you a 4, and then still go up for 5. And that's what you'd want to see, a 5-wave move off the low, and breaking some of these prior prior highs, because it's just been a series of lower highs, just constant lower highs. So you start breaking these, and then it's looking really good that the low is in, and this pattern that I see is done, and we're going up for the fifth wave. Now there's still a chance that even on this little move here, that this is one. This could just be the A wave, and maybe they've come up already for a B or a Y or whatever. There could still be one more move down into this green box, so something just slightly under 6,500, and that'll be 2, and then take off. So either way, next week, like even if they come down, like that'll happen on Monday, it would just sell off. But then it gets down into this area, 64, 67. If they get lower than that, then things get a little sketchy. For me, 63.53 is the line in the sand. If that breaks, I'm wrong. This is not an expanding flat, and that opens a door to a lot of ugly patterns. Because then, if this is not an expanding flat, we could be in for a really big correction. Just going to take a quick look at the extreme bear case. So the bears are looking at it like this. So I'm going to go out to a daily chart. Yeah, daily chart's fine. So I think this is 1. Got a 5-wave move up right down to the 50%. That was 2. And then, like I said, I think this is 3, this is 4, and now we're going up for 5. So that's my roadmap on what I'm seeing and what I think will happen. A bear is going to go from the COVID low. You had 1, ABC down for 2, almost hit to the 50. Just, yeah, I can't get down there. That was 2. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 3, and came right down to the 50. But because they didn't break the high of the 1, so let me get on these numbers here. So the low here in April was 48.32, and then the high here was 48.08. So because this didn't come and break that, sure would have been nice if they would have done that, because then it make this a lot easier. A bear could make the case that this is 1, 2, this was 3, this was 4 because you didn't break the 1, and now you've completed 5 waves. And so a bear is going to look at this. This was 3, this was 4, and then this was an ending diagonal, which I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 waves. It's just that this 2 is so shallow, and the 3 didn't hit target. So like, just based on the math part, like these targets were not hit. I mean, the 2 barely got to the 382. You know, it should be getting down into the 618 area. And then if it's a diagonal, like the third wave target would have been off this chart. It would be like, I think it was like 7150 or something. So these targets were not met. No rules were broken, but that's how a bear would see it, that this was an ending diagonal for 5. And so if that's the case, then you've got a 5-wave move up, and then you got to go like all the way out to the weekly chart and go, okay, well, if that 5-wave just ended, then that means like you got 1, this was 2, financial crisis low, and now you just completed the 3rd wave. And so now you're going to make a 4 down here. And then that just means that like 4th wave target is 55, 54 down to like 46. Somewhere in here would be the 4th wave. So let's just say 55, 50 is what they'll be targeting, which means we've got like 1,100 point drop coming. So a bear is looking at it like that this 3rd wave is done, and now we're making a really big correction, which means this is a leading diagonal. And then you're going to make some type of correction, and then you're still coming down, and then obviously you come like way down. And it's going to take a long time. It's not going to be a 2-month thing. It's going to be, could be like 1 to 2, 3 years. So that's how a bear is seeing it. So we'll know pretty soon. Because like I said, I think next week it could come down, but then it's got to prove itself. Buyers really have to step in and really push this way above 66.53. The higher this thing gets, then it's looking good. But yeah, if this were to like just come up here, just break 66.53 and then roll over and take out that low, yeah, we could be in for some ugliness. All right, Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq, there's a lot of ways to count this. It's always been a pain. The only thing easy is this is 3 waves, and this is 3 waves. As it stands right now, I can make the case that this is W, 3 waves down, W. This is X, so W, X, and now you need 3 waves for the Y, and you could be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 3. So you could make that this is a WXY, and this is the Y wave. So WX, and then WXY for the Y. And then this is also in a good zone for the 4, and now you're going up for the 5th wave. That's one way to count it. The other way that, to me, at least right now, it definitely looks like it could be making an ending diagonal. So this would be, instead of W, this would be A, this would be B, and then you got 1, 2, 3, came right to the top of this purple box here, that I've had for a while. That would be 4. And now you're going to come down in 3 waves for the 5th wave. So the Nasdaq could break its low, and it would still be like a valid pattern then for a big WX and a Y, because then this would be an ABC, and that would so the Nasdaq can break its low. The S&P, like I said, if it does, then I think there's something else going on. So maybe the Nasdaq would come down, break its low. Meanwhile, the S&P would just make a really deep correction, and like give a head fake type of thing, like it's going to break the low, and then they stop there, and then they reverse hard. So there is that possibility, I guess. Just I would prefer if the S&P like just came down to this green box maybe one more time, and then took off. Then that would look more like a 1-2, and then you're going up for the 3rd wave. So yeah, the Nasdaq is just a hard one to read. A lot of different patterns that it can be making. So, but as it stands right now, yeah, actually the Nasdaq, it's just a coin flip on what this is. Really looks like it's going to be a diagonal, just because it stopped right. I mean, right at the top, 24,351, and where did it stop? 24,348. So 3 ticks from the high of this box, and then it rejected hard. But now it also rejected pretty hard from the green box. So yeah, we'll know for sure next week. I mean, I think we'll probably know Monday. Definitely, I think into Tuesday we'll know if they're coming down or if this thing is the low's in and this thing is taking off. So yeah, early next week, this should start to resolve itself one way or the other. Either we're coming down for a 5th wave, or the low is in. And let's take a look at a couple of stocks that may or may not help. So Nvidia just looks very corrective, just like the Nasdaq. I mean, just there's no 5 wave move on any of them yet. So that's why right now, as it stands, it's just a WX and a Y. It did make a little 3 wave move, which is a little bit concerning. 1, 2, and then 3. Because if this rolls over and they take out 164, then all of a sudden this starts to look more like diagonal, because then you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they'd be coming down 5. And then that gets a little, because then it opens a door to this being a diagonal. And instead of W and X, it's actually 1 and 2. And then 3 will be down in here in the 158 range. So yeah, just like the the Nasdaq, the Nvidia's really got to prove itself here. 164 becomes pretty important, and then another break of that, and this is starting to now get too strong downwards. So just like everything, like you want to see, either this is like an ABC up to here, and then maybe they'll make an ABC down, and then you definitely want to see strong movement going. So maybe they can make a correction, but it's got to be just a correction and then strong up, because you want to start taking out some of these prior prior highs, so that we can get out of this pattern, this WXY, which can turn into like 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that's what I see. Like, yeah, if this rolls over, and that'll happen, like I said, I think on Monday, definitely on Tuesday, if it rolls over and takes out the low, I think the market's in trouble. Google looks actually really good, because this it's just a three-wave move. I mean, it 1, 2, 3 waves right into the perfect zone for the fourth to get a bounce. So, and just like everything else, it bounced high, came down. You definitely want to see a push up. Resistance will be 310 to 320 because this could be just three waves down, and then they're going to give a three-wave move up and then roll over. So this becomes really interesting to watch when if they get up here. Like, what happens? Does it reject? Or are they able to push up? Because maybe you got like a 1, 2, then 3. Maybe they'll give like a 4, and then 5. You want to see that five-way move, because then that feels like this is all the correction, and now we're going up. So yeah, just like everything else, Google's got to prove itself, and we need to see a lot of strong movement. Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin does not look good. Let's go out to the daily. So from the high, 126,000 high, just a clear ABC down. So, but now it's just hanging out down here for a very long time. Can't really do anything. I would think that even if they're going to go down more, now it is down into this green box, ABC down. So it's possible that that is all the correction. It's just, this is not very impulsive at all. It's just kind of should have, if they're going to be going up, I would have thought that they'd be giving a stronger indication. It could be that, like, you got 1, 2, 3, and then maybe this is like going to be a diagonal. So it's ABC for 1. You do have 3 waves down for 2. Although I kind of feel like this was a leading diagonal, but maybe this was 3, and now you're going to be pushing on up for 3, and then this wave will be pretty strong. That's the only bullish pattern, because like I said, I thought this was a leading diagonal down. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and then 5, which means now you should be correcting, which that's all this is. This is just a correction. So it could be like this will be A, this will be B. I think one more push up into low 70s would be perfect zone for the rejection, ABC, and then come back down. And then down here, then this could be an ABC, because if we're correcting this whole ABC down, this should be coming up into the 80s. And I think this is just A, B, C. Like, that'll be the A wave. Then this will be A, B, C. That'll be B. And then we need a C wave. And then and then they roll over. So yeah, I don't think Bitcoin's doing anything. I think if this pattern does play out and it comes up into the 70s and rejects, then under 64,000, then I think that becomes a viable place, because then you can have a really tight stop at 59. But you can play for that move up, the C wave, and it should be, or it could be, if it's a C wave, it could be quite impulsive, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type of deal. So pretty strong, pretty quick. But yeah, I don't think they'll break the low yet. I mean, there's this 3-wave correction, so it's possible. But yeah, it'd be better if they came up to like 80 and then rejected. So let's see what the pattern is. I think right now, a little bit of up and then one more down. All right, that's what I see on everything. Hope it helps. Good luck to you all. Have a great weekend. See you in the next video.